What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Sunday, April 7th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay, who do we have at the point guard position? I like George Hill from the Milwaukee Bucks playing the Atlanta Hawks, who have the absolute worst defense overall, and they give up the absolute most fantasy points to opposing point guards. George Hill has scored 18, 35, and 31 fantasy points in the last 3 games, averaging 16.1 fantasy points per game on the season in an average of 22 minutes per game with a 15% usage rate. His usage rate has been up 18 to 22% in the last 3 games, and George Hill is only $4,600 DraftKings salary. He's the same price on FanDuel, so I love that price on both sites. Projected at 24.2 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.3 times value. There's an implied total of 233 points in this game. That's a huge total. So George Hill conceded a little bit to Eric Bledsoe, who went off yesterday. We kind of predicted that. Bledsoe, coming off of a game that he got ejected in, he had plenty of energy. It's one of those ejection revenge games, I guess. So I think Bledsoe takes a backseat to George Hill, and this matchup can't get any better. So I love George Hill here versus the Atlanta Hawks. So our DFS tools for MLB baseball are now live and working. You can click on the MLB tab to change sports and check the tools out for baseball. They're really helpful. They're going to save you guys a ton of research time. Really happy baseball's back, and we're going to have daily baseball videos coming up as soon as the season starts. Remember, we added projected ownership, and that will be updating throughout the day as injury news changes. We also added the fantasy points per minute stat here for each player, and we also added a stat that's new to the industry. We call it the hit percentage, and it's the percent chance this player has to hit value at his current DFS salary. And you can access all these new stats even on mobile devices by tapping the dash rank icon. Okay, who do we have at the shooting guard position? I like Lou Williams. Sweet Lou from the LA Clippers playing the Golden State Warriors, who have a middle of the pack defense overall, and they're also middle of the pack defending opposing shooting guards. Lou Williams has scored 36, 25, and 25 fantasy points in the last 3 games, averaging 33.2 fantasy points per game on the season in an average of 27 minutes per game with a 33% usage rate. Lou Williams is $7,000 DraftKings salary. He's the same price on FanDuel, so I love that FanDuel price. Projected at 34.9 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5 times value. There's an implied total of 235.5 points in this game, another huge total. So the reason I like this pick is because look at the player versus team history here. Lou Williams has scored 41, 40, 43, and 65 fantasy points versus the Golden State Warriors in his last 4 games. So he gets out of bed to play this team. This should be a competitive game. I love Lou Williams here versus the Golden State Warriors. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, let's take a look at the small forward position. Eligible at small forward here on DraftKings, I like Eric Gordon from the Houston Rockets playing the Phoenix Suns, who have the 2nd worst defense overall, and they give up the 8th most fantasy points to opposing small forwards. Eric Gordon has scored 21, 21, and 24 fantasy points in the last 3 games, averaging 24.7 fantasy points per game on the season in an average of 32 minutes per game with a 22% usage rate. Eric Gordon is $4,500 DraftKings salary. He's $500 more on FanDuel, projected at 23.1 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.1 times value. This is a home game, a fast-paced game, and a fantastic matchup. I like Eric Gordon here versus the Phoenix Suns. Jeff Green is also interesting. He's only $3,900 DraftKings salary, $300 more on FanDuel. He played 22 minutes last game, scored 19 fantasy points. If Jeff Green is going to get 25 minutes, he could be an interesting play at $3,900 with a great matchup. And keep an eye on Kent Bazemore in the same position at $3,900 over there in Atlanta, and $200 less on FanDuel. See if he's going to play the game. If he plays, he's at a great value. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, let's take a look at the power forward position. Here's another value play I think can work out. I like Kenneth Faried from the Houston Rockets playing the Phoenix Suns, who have the second worst defense overall. They give up the third most fantasy points to opposing power forwards. Kenneth Faried has scored 31, 14, and 31 fantasy points in his last 3 games, averaging 22.3 fantasy points per game on the season in an average of 20 minutes per game with a 21% usage rate. His usage rate was 26% last game, so that's encouraging. Kenneth Faried is $4,200 DraftKings salary. He's $300 less on FanDuel, so I love that FanDuel price. Projected at 23.1 fantasy points here tonight, that's 5.5 times value. This is a home game, a fast-paced game. There's an implied total of 224 points in this game. Kenneth Faried might get a little extra run here. He's in a good spot to crush value, especially on FanDuel where he can be a low-score drop if he bombs. So I love Kenneth Faried here versus the Phoenix Suns. Okay, moving on to the center position. I like DeMarcus Cousins from the Golden State Warriors playing the LA Clippers, who have the 7th worst defense overall, and they give up the 2nd most fantasy points to opposing centers. DeMarcus Cousins has scored 42 and 59 fantasy points in his last 2 games, averaging 37 fantasy points per game on the season in an average of 25 minutes per game with a 28% usage rate. DeMarcus Cousins is $6,800 DraftKings salary. He's $2,300 more on FanDuel, so I love that DraftKings price. Projected at 36.4 fantasy points here tonight, that's 5.3 times value, but only on DraftKings. That price is so much more on FanDuel. He's going to need 40 plus fantasy points on FanDuel to pay off that price tag. There's an implied total of 235.5 points in this game, another huge total. This is a home game, a fast-paced game. Steve Kerr has already said he's not going to rest any of his starters this game. I don't know how you fade DeMarcus Cousins on DraftKings. That price is too good. I love DeMarcus Cousins here versus the LA Clippers. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.